Hey YouTube. Okay. I wanted to do a couple of video blogs. This one's going to be about the workbench and why I plan on pretty much wrapping this up the way it sits. Got to do a little bit more. I got to spot weld this metal here on this bottom area that was supposed to be the cabinet, and the same on the other side. I got to do a little bit of spot welding to the back side of the tabletop, bench top, but not too much, just a few spots here and there, just to keep it from having that rattly sound. But outside of that, I'm going to stop it, and here's why. Since I was basically a little kid, I've always wanted to push myself to check out new things and just kind of explore something, just see if I can do it. That's how I got into welding, that's how I got into working on cars. Pretty much everything that I've gotten into is based on that. Everything from upholstery to photography to web design to, you know, I've owned and operated a recording studio when I lived in Oregon and managed a band. And, you know, I could go on and on and on. It's not that I necessarily get bored with things. I just don't like staying stagnant. That's kind of why I moved to Syracuse, New York. You know, for those that don't know, I'm originally from Oregon, but I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, and I moved back to Oregon for about 5 years. My brother got out of the military and went up there and told me to come move up there just to get out of Phoenix, and I hit him up on it, and things didn't work out. And I mean, it went fine. I had a good job and whatnot, and did a lot of things, but I didn't like it up there. I didn't like it up there at all. Had an opportunity to move back down to Arizona and took it, and that opportunity kind of blew up in my face. But I ended up becoming a motorsports photographer for a number of years down there, and eventually got together with my current fiance, and you know, last year we decided to move up to Syracuse at random. I was basically just looking at Google Maps, and I've always been interested in possibly moving to upstate New York someplace. New York City's not the place I want to raise my kid, or you know, or what will soon to be my stepchild, my other stepdaughter. It's not the place to do that, in my opinion. So I was kind of just researching the state of New York, as well as some other states, Pennsylvania, and Indiana, and whatnot. And Syracuse just popped up, and every time I kept looking at it and researching it, it kept looking better and better and better. So we just decided to move up here. Packed up our shit. Things kind of worked out the way they did. Took a little longer than expected. Got up here. Basically, you know, the deal is that I like trying out new things, and as a result, when I try out new things, especially when it's skills like welding and whatnot, I try it just to see what it's like initially, and then once I know I can do it, I want to do it as best as I absolutely possibly can. Not necessarily that I want to do it for a living or a career or anything like that. I want to know if I can do it to the ability that impresses me that others are capable of doing. You know, for instance, when it comes to like fabricating roll cages and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of a bad example because that's what I do. You know, I want to do that for a living. that's what I'm doing. Let me give you another example. I went to a Renaissance festival a couple of years ago, and they were selling handmade leather masks. And there was this one in there that I thought was so dope. I was like, whoa, that thing is cool, and I wanted it. And then I saw the price tag was like almost 400 bucks. And I was like, oh, fuck that. I went home and found out how they made them and made my own. Once I made my own and I knew I could do it, my instant thought process was, I want to make them as badass as the ones that I see online that I think are just amazing. And I'll push that hard to get there. That's an example. Not because I want to do it for a living. I want to know if I could do it that well. When I started building this bench, sorry about the long rambled on stories. When I started building this bench, I had an idea in my mind. The idea in my mind started out real simple. It was what I needed, and solely what I needed, which is what it is right now. I had a place for me to hang my plastic storage bins. I had some pegboard where I could hang some tools. It was metal. It was big. Had a top shelf where I could eventually put a light underneath there, but if not, it was just some place for me to put more storage. And I wanted some bottom storage. So that's what I started building. That's what I wanted. That's what my goal was. When I initially designed it, that was the sole purpose. There was no intention on boxing this in. None at all. Zero. Here's where the problem is, and this is my problem, my own personal problem. And some people may say it's not a problem, but it is. And sometimes I have to kick my ego in the dick a little bit and make it stop and focus on the big picture. When I started building this, it started turning out good. It started turning out to the level that I was like, you know what, I could make this thing look ridiculously awesome. If I just put a little bit more effort, I just spent a little bit more money, and just a little bit more time, I could make this thing dope, But then the problem with that is I'm blowing my budget, number one. Number two, it's already what I need it to be. Do I need it to look dope? No. Do I want it to? Hell yeah. That's the problem that I'm having. And that's where I had to stop myself. I kind of took a break over the last couple of days to just spend a little bit of time with my fiance. She gets off work and I'm almost always, I'll help with dinner or whatever, and then I'll just come to the shop and work in here until like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's kind of the typical routine, and I wanted to kick back with her for a couple of days and watch some movies and just spend some time with her. But in the process of me doing that, I started thinking about the bench, and I started looking at it, and I came out here and just started organizing some things, and really, stop for a moment. That break gave me a chance to really assess what I was doing. Not to mention I'm between jobs right now for customers, and because this is my sole means of income from personally, my share of the family financial burden, I had to stop. I just had to stop. And it boils down to this. What is my ultimate goal of Alvarez Metalworks? Alvarez Metalworks is to create a business that will allow me to sustain my responsibility, my financial responsibility with my family, as well as allow me to work from home, which is a massive plus, and to do what I enjoy, to give me an outlet to be creative. Okay? Did making the baddest workbench that I could come up with play into that? A little bit, because it's a creativity thing, but it's a little bit of pride too. Does it need to look that good? No, it doesn't. I mean, my shop looks terrible. I actually kind of like it because I like that old falling apart, antique, old rustic building type look, industrial look. But I also like, clean, proper, professional Formula One garage type thing. I think that's really impressive to me. But you know, the fact of the matter is I didn't need that Formula One type garage set up in here. I don't need it. I have to tell myself that I don't want it, even though I do, but I don't really, because then it takes a lot of time to upkeep it. Takes a lot of money too that could be spent on something else. So now that I brought that up, this is where we stand. Should I have spent a couple more $100s on building these shelves and the cabinets and doing the sheet metal and everything that I wanted to do just for visual aesthetics? If I was loaded, hell yeah. If I was loaded and had time to do it, not loaded as in high, but loaded as in money, hell yeah. But I'm not. And the fact of the matter is I need a proper shop compressor. I need to build me a chop saw plasma cutting station of some sort. I have an idea in my head that'll be a future project. Not sure when, but it will be. I also need to get to work on finishing tearing apart the Pathfinder over here for Project Tale of Two Sisters, the Pathfinder builds, and get to working on swapping out those parts and get my shop back into a manageable situation and get all this extra metal out of here and go recycle it so I can collect a little bit of money. So basically that's where we stand. You know, it all boils down to what do I want versus what do I need? What do I have as far as money to throw around, and what should I be throwing around? You know, we plan on getting married in 2014, July of 2014. And there's a lot of money going towards that wedding, and the fact of the matter is I shouldn't be throwing it away on jazzing up a workbench. It really is neither here nor there, and doesn't make a lick of fucking difference, because whether it looks fantastic or it just looks pretty cool, it's still going to do the same thing for me. It doesn't change what it does in my shop. So that's kind of where I had to step on the brakes pretty hard and accept that. I know that there's value in impressing you guys and the local people that are looking at my Facebook page. If you just go to alvarezmetalworks.com, it'll go straight to my Facebook page. I know there's value in that. I know there's a lot of value in that, because if you impress people, you inspire them, and then eventually they will come talk to you. But what's more important? Impressing one person or a couple of people that may inquire, that might inquire, and then realize, hey, metal's not cheap, or I might land a job or two. The job or two would be awesome. But I could also use that $200 to go out and buy a tubing roller, which is something I really need, which is something a current customer who talked to me about doing some tubing work for him, and it would require that. So it's one of those things, you know, what's more important right now? Well, what is going to help get me to my goal right now? Fancy workbench, or utilizing my time, money, and effort in a much more productive way. And that's where we're at. So that's why I chose to, you know, press the brakes and halt this project. And what you see here is what you get. Maybe down the road I may paint it. Definitely not going to paint the top, but I might. Who knows? We're probably looking at about a 25% chance that I'll paint it. And, you know, but as far as the build videos for this is concerned, it's done. You saw the last one. The last one uploaded is the last one. And that's it. I hope you guys understand and kind of get where I'm coming from as far as why I chose to not push it further. I've got lots of other things planned and lots of other things that I need to do, and again, what's more important? So, with that being said, we're going to stop this first part of the video blog and check out part 2. Part 2 is going to talk about a comparison, customer service comparison between Everlast and one of their biggest competitors, which is Longevity Inc. Everlast is a company that makes my plasma cutter and my MIG welder, and Longevity is their competitor. They're both Chinese-built welders, plasma cutters, stuff like that. But I was hesitant to put that video blog out, but I'm going to anyways. I definitely feel like something needs to be said there, and it needs to be brought up. So look for part 2 of this. Part 3 is going to be a review or an update, if you will, on my experience brushing on chassis saver. Little bit of a durability test. I promised I would do that, but at the same time I need to talk to you guys about my results, the results that I got from brushing it on versus spraying it, and there's a lot of details that need to be talked about as far as that's concerned. So that'll be part 3. So with that being said, subscribe, comment, like. Check out alvarezmetalworks.com. Again, that will go straight to my Facebook page, or you can just do Facebook.com/AlvarezMetalworks. That'll work too. I'm going to, am I going to put any other links down in the description? You know what? No, I'm not going to. It's just going to be Alvarez Metalworks down there, and and that's pretty much it. So thank you guys that have subscribed. For those that haven't, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think my way of thinking is completely fucked, or if you understand it. Sorry about the cussing, I do that a lot. Let me know what you think. Some of you guys are actually in the same industry, and you've been doing this for longer than me, and you can let me know if I'm off beat. If maybe I shouldn't be thinking the way I am, or maybe I'm right on. Give me your advice on that. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.